Heather, how are you today?
I'm good. I am so excited to hear how your week went and your weekend because I know you were in Chicago.
I was. Oh my gosh. I got to meet the most amazing people. So I was at the IANS conference, and this was a near death studies conference. There were about 700 people there. It was absolutely just felt like soul family running into all these people. A lot of them have had near death experiences, and many of them had not. So we got to present, Jeff Jansen and I got to present at the Unity of Naperville on Saturday. So shout out to them because there were so many of them that were saying that they watch our YouTube live and talking about you and our friendship. And I just want to thank everyone for their love and support and connecting. And they were an amazing crowd. So we got to present to them on near death experiences. And then the next day, we were on the main stage at the IANS conference talking about soul plans. So it was just the best time. The weather was great, the people were nice. It was an amazing conference.
Oh, that's so incredible. Did you get to do any sightseeing of Chicago while you were there, or were you pretty busy at the conference?
I stayed a couple days later and, went to Navy Pier and walked around the city and just went out and ate. It was great. We had a really good time.
What a cool weekend. That's awesome.
It was so cool. And it was so fun to get to meet people that I haven't gotten to meet before. So some were clients that I've read for over Zoom and I got to meet them in person. And others were people that I've never gotten to read for, but they follow me in, one way, shape, or form. And I would just, hey, shout out to all the amazing souls out there. Thank you so much.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of fun to hear that we have listeners and followers. It's funny, we see the questions and stuff come up, but I'm like, oh, there actually are people listening.
Yeah, that's right. How was your weekend?
It was really good. It was so nice. I've had family in town. I attended a funeral of a family member, but more a celebration of life. It's always, when someone's lived a full life, it's still sad to see them go, but to kind of reflect on all that they accomplished in the family. And I got to see family that I hadn't seen in a while, and that's always fun to connect with them. And then my brothers were in town, and we just had a really nice, relaxing weekend. So kind of woke up this morning feeling recharged and ready for the week. So it was really good.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you got to have your family together.
I was, I woke up this morning thinking how lucky I am because I genuinely love being around my family. And I know that's not always the case for everyone, but every single one of like my siblings and my parents, we just love being together and have the best time. And we laugh and just, yeah, we just really enjoy being around each other. And I'm just so grateful for that because I know that's not always common.
Right. Yeah, it's truly a blessing.
Yeah, and I always know that they're there for me, and they have been there for me through all the ups and downs and things of life. It's like one thing I can count on that like my family will show up. So it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Well, good blessing right there.
For sure. So are we ready for some questions? We already have some questions in the chat. So thank you all for listening. And just a reminder, if you will like our channel and subscribe, it really helps us out a lot. So just kind of push that like button. And our first question today is from Shar. Saturday, I had a huge rush of energy and fell to my knees. Why?
Wow. Okay. So this weekend was intense for a lot of people in a couple of different ways. We had the full harvest moon, and we also had a total lunar eclipse, depending on what part of the world you were in, was whether you see that or not. So, what was happening energetically this weekend is we were being asked by the universe and maybe even like shaken a little bit to let go of the ideas and thoughts that are not going to serve our future. Specifically, whatever these things are that we've been wrestling with over the last 6 months, fear of not having enough finances or whatever these things are, right? Will I find my soulmate? Whatever you've been wrestling with the last 6 months, this weekend was all about letting it go, but letting it go completely so that you're ready to step into the energy of 2026, which is going to start coming in. And that's what it feels like to me. It feels like it was literally a slap of energy that was really shifting. It's interesting because the way they show it to me, it feels like it goes right to left is the way that I'm feeling it, but it feels like a shove and shoving out of you what it was that you needed to let go of.
Oh, how interesting. Yeah, I saw a lot of different things about the energy this weekend and all of that. Just a lot of going on, a lot of shifting.
Yeah, well, what I noticed with it for myself was on Friday, I was having dreams with old fears, things that were fears for me a year ago or 2 years ago, right? And I was like, what is this? And then I woke up and I realized, oh, yeah, okay, we're processing those things that we need to let go of for good right now. And that was one of those things.
Oh, very interesting. All right. Our next question is from Angela. Michelle, did the Egyptians really build the pyramids or did they just discover them? Interesting.
Ooh, I love that. My answer is the Egyptians did not build the pyramids. So I was in Egypt in December of 2024, so not too long ago. And when you go there, if you ever get the opportunity to go there, you should. You will go there and you will say, there were no humans with little carts putting these massive stones together. It's just absolutely impossible. Not to mention the fact that when I was in the pyramids themselves, they felt like power plants. So the pyramids had a masculine energy. It felt like a power plant. It felt like a teleportation device. Like, I think those type of energies with the masculine pyramids. The Sphinx was very divine, feminine, loving, gentle, had more of a sacred energy to me. So my answer is going to be not made by humans.
So cool. And the pyramids are fascinating. Like, I visited them years ago, and I know you were just there recently. It's so hard to describe unless you're there seeing them in person, just how big, and they've been around for so many years and to still be standing.
Absolutely. And there's so much underneath the pyramids that has yet to be discovered. And you can just feel that when you are there. There are layers upon layers of things waiting to be discovered.
So cool. Good question. Here's kind of a fun little like pop culture question from Terry. Do you see Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce actually getting married?
Well, that's fun. You know what? Yeah, I do. If we're betting on this in Vegas, I would say bet on it because it does look like it's going to happen. It obviously, keep in mind, people get married for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. So we'll add that little disclaimer to it. But I do feel like they will hit the altar.
I guess we're all waiting by. It's kind of like America's royal wedding in a way. It's kind of this like funny thing how it's just kind of taken over.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next question. What is your favorite way to ground yourself when you are feeling anxious or stressed out?
Yeah, great question. So really, I love to use the earth. So I want people to either sit with both feet on the ground, or you could sit, like crisscross applesauce on the ground, whatever that is. But really plant yourself on the earth. It doesn't have to be, on the ground. If you can go to a grassy area in your backyard or the park, go do that. But then you want to imagine growing roots deep, 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 deep into the earth through the rich, nurturing soil, and really see yourself anchoring in. And then go ahead and have the visual of releasing whatever thoughts, feelings, emotions, whatever's not serving your future into the Mother Earth, where it's going to get recycled and transmuted into something better.
Thanks, Michelle. Next question. My brother-in-law has the same name as my co-worker, Dustin Stewart. They both have a son. I share the same birth date, 3/22, as my co-worker's son. What do these synchronicities mean?
Oh, that's interesting. Kind of making me think of some people that I know that have similar names. But here's what I will tell you about that. There's always a karmic relationship. And what I mean by that is not going to be like, I hurt them, they need to hurt me, blah, blah, blah. Think vibrational match, right? So when we are born on the same day as other people, when we are carrying similar names, there's going to be some type of vibrational frequency that is the common thread there, right? Sometimes it can be the game changer. So you can know two people with the exact same name and they're very different, but there's still the energetic thread that would be there, would be like, okay, this one shows up in this energy and this one shows up in this energy, right? But it's a soul combination of, hey, we're here, we've done this before, and really an awareness, because we notice those as humans, names and birthdays, that we notice them and they matter.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, our next question is from Ashley. Michelle, does my grandma Mary have a message for me? It will be 10 years that she has passed, and I miss her dearly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let me just kind of tap in, because the first thing that I want to say to you about Grandma Mary is she has not missed a moment of your life. So often we think our loved ones are in spirit world and that they're somehow cut off from what is happening down here. And that is not true. So her energy just comes in so strong. Like, I've seen that, I've been there, I'm walking beside you. She's showing me a lot of butterflies and she's showing me a lot of hearts. So you're going to get heart-shaped clouds and water puddles and, I mean, rocks and hearts and hearts and hearts and hearts. So there's so much love and connection. She's also showing me there's going to be something, and it's either in the kitchen or, like, if you're in the living room right by the kitchen, it's electrical. It feels like it's going to be a light, and it's going to be a specific light that is flickering, or the light bulb burns out, you change it, it burns out again, but it's near the kitchen in what would be the living room or the sitting room there. So she's still trying to let you know she's around.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, our next question is from Sherry. Since my husband died 2 years ago, I have been running our company. I have had issues keeping and hiring staff during this time. Will this work out and stop being an issue?
I heard very clearly from the guides, yes. Okay. But let's think about your energy. So in the last 2 years, you've probably just been trying to get your own balance. And when we are running a company as an entrepreneur, you are the battery or the motor or the engine behind the company. So if you're off balance, which of course you would be because of the grief and everything that you're moving through, what that brings into the company is instability, not on purpose. It's just what happens when we're running our own business. But what they're showing for me is stability is going to come in. I want you to really focus on stabilizing your own energy first and foremost, because then what will happen is you become the vibrational match for stability, stable employees, and the other things that you're looking for.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question is from Carrie. My mom is on a fixed income and her landlord died, and his daughter took over and is raising mom's rent another $400. Do you see any relief in her situation?
What I heard from the guides is that she should talk to her about negotiating to go half. So to go up 200, but not 400 is what I'm hearing. So they're telling me negotiation or a talk is possible, but she is going to have to go up to stay in that location.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question is from Kay. When I long to connect with my transitioned loved ones, I use my imagination, and yet I don't want to pretend to satisfy my desire to connect. But how do I truly know the connection has taken place?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so when I'm doing mediumship, right? If I'm sitting with somebody and I feel a male energy, and then I kind of want to like get into it more. Okay, does this feel like they're coming in above? Is this dad or granddad or life partner? Like, who is this? So the feeling of it is what's important. So are you imagining it in your mind like you're watching a movie, or are you feeling it? Because the feelings are going to tell you the truth of the connection that you're making, and that's how our loved ones speak to us a lot. So I want you to really notice. It's perfect to start with imagination. If you imagine mom walking in the door or whoever, of course you're thinking of them. So now your loved one is showing up because you just said, ping, where are you? I miss you. I love you. And they're like, I'm right here. So it's okay to start with imagination, but then I want you to lean into what you're feeling, because our loved ones speak very often to us through feelings.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question is from Carrie. I was sitting in my chair looking at the back door and saw a long streak of white light go across the yard twice in one day. What was that?
I love that. The first word I heard was angels, angels. So you've been asking more for guidance is what I'm being told to tell you. And your angels are absolutely responding, and they're wanting to make themselves visible to you. The other thing that I'm hearing is that there's healing that's starting to occur for you now. So whether this is physical, emotional, or mental, I'm not sure, but they're using that word healing, and you're allowing yourself to see, know, and feel more.
All right, our next question is from, let's see, oh, there's no name. My mom, Jovi, wants to know if Nick, her husband, will ever truly connect where he can be more honest with her.
Ooh. Okay, so here's the thing with that. That one has a lot of weight to it because I could feel it as Heather read it. It actually almost made me a little queasy. So I had like a physical reaction to that question. So that tells me a lot because I can sense what's happening in my body. It will be very challenging to get him to be completely honest with your mom. That's what I'm feeling. I also want to add on something to this. There's a reason why he's not being honest, because it works for him, or there are things that he's hiding or whatever. What's really important now isn't him getting honest with your mom, it's your mom getting honest with herself and her seeing the situation for what it is. So that's the energy that I want to share with you. Like, we can't make people do things. We can't heal them. We can't fix them. We can't make them tell us the truth. But then we have to really go inside and say, okay, can't manage that person who's shown me a very strong pattern of who they are. But what I can manage, fix, and heal is this person who doesn't want to live with somebody who's not honest anymore. So I would tell you, your mom needs to focus the energy on herself. It feels very unlikely that things in this relationship are going to do a 180.
Yeah, and it sounds like it can be tricky too, because if there's a relationship that's built on a lot of dishonesty, it's probably likely that it's not just one thing that's being lied about. It's layers upon layers upon layers. And so to really get honest would unravel a lot sometimes. And so that's where it gets really tricky, I feel like, in these relationships.
Oh, because it's scary, because you're being asked to recreate yourself in the life that you want instead of the life that you're wishing it was. And so it's really scary, but your mom, the guides are so clear. She's got to do what's right for her now, and she's got to honor the fact that she wants to know her truth is actually more important here than his, because he's not going to share his.
Yeah, and I loved how you touched on that, because this comes up a lot with different things, but really the only thing that we have control over is ourselves, and he's in full choice. And so I love how you touched on like the mom being honest with herself, because that's what she really can control.
Yeah, and it's scary and it's hard, and sometimes we have to face answers that we don't want to hear. But the truth of this is that the guides would not be doing you any favors if they said, oh my gosh, he's going to be completely honest, it starts next week. But because her guides know that's not the situation. So what they're trying to do is coax her to choose herself. And that's what all of our life guides are doing. They're saying, choose you, choose you. It doesn't mean you can't have a life with an amazing partner and friends and all of these things, but it's always about choosing ourselves and being honest with ourselves.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks.
All right, our next question is from Caroline. Will I live in Montreal for the next 5 years?
I did not get 5. I got the number 3. So I think you will be there for 3 years.
All right. And this next question is, would you tell me what is happening with my 14-year-old daughter and how I can help?
Yeah. So there's a lot of depression there, is what I'm feeling. And it's interesting because they are showing me like zipped lips, right? Like not talking. I would tell you there's a couple of things. You do want to present the way they're showing me this as a friend, right? Because they're showing it to me this way, where it's like, hey, let's go grab a milkshake. Let's go shopping. Like, you're wanting to ease into her life in a way that comes in more as a friend than as a mom. They're also telling me to tell you, don't judge. Okay. So a lot of times as parents, we want to be like, that's good, that's bad, my kid did something amazing, my kid, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed of that, right? Or whatever it is. This isn't a situation that's asking for any type of judgment, only love and compassion. And so that is the energy that you want to bring into greeting your daughter and talking to her. And they're telling me to tell you, you have to really set that aside so that you're like, I just love you, and there's nothing you're going to tell me that's going to change that. And be able to show up in that type of way. I do feel like things are going to start shifting for her in the next couple of months, where like her energy feels like it's going to get better. But that's really where I feel like she is. That's a hard age too. That's a hard age. I don't know anyone who wants to be 14 again.
Oh, it's a very difficult age.
Yeah. But hang in there and really release any judgment, because this also isn't, and I'm saying this as a mom of 3 kids too, this isn't a reflection of you. This is a reflection of an issue or challenge that your child is having.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. All right, our next question. I would love to know if I will find a new job soon. And that was in all capital letters.
All capitals. Thank
All
you.
capital letters.
Right. So for those of you that don't know, I never even see the comments. Heather is the one who reads the questions so that I can be in like channeling. So it's good that you told me that. New job soon. I'm getting November. So second week of November is where the energy is coming in. I would expect you to have at least an interview, if not be on a second interview by then.
Thanks, Michelle. And our next question. I'm really confused in my life right now. Anything from my guides?
Mm-hmm. So the energy that they're giving me, they're showing me just spinning and spinning, right? So first, this is earlier someone asked about grounding. You've got to start grounding yourself every day, because your energy in your field is like spinning. And I want you to start grounding. So start focusing on what you know to be true and what you want. Even if that's something like, for me, okay, I'm a female, I'm a mom, I'm like, right, but these things are going to start grounding you in. What your guides are saying is that they're using the word scanning. So you're just like, you keep scanning. Think about radio stations when you're driving the car. If you hit scan and it goes to one and then one and then one and then, right, it keeps like popping in on them. They're asking you to pick a channel. So number one, what do you want? Right? And if you don't know that it's the job or the house or where you're going to live, start with the way you want to feel. I want to feel peace. And then what you're going to do every morning when you ground, you're going to invite peace in, and you're going to look for peace in your day. And peace might be the hot cup of coffee. Peace might be your favorite song on the radio. It might not be hours of peace, but they're telling you to start grounding into peace so that things settle in and you can start seeing more clearly the options that you have available to you.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, our next question. Hi, Michelle. What percentage of mediums acquire the gift of mediumship after having a near-death experience?
I love that. That's a great question, especially after I just got back from the conference. So here's what we know about people who have near-death experiences. About 80% of them come back with abilities that they didn't have before, whether we want to call it psychic, telepathic, mediumship, intuition, whatever those are. How many of them choose to work as a professional medium after that? I don't know, but I would say many of the mediums I know have had near-death experiences. So we just know that by having a near-death experience and touching that heavenly realm, it heightens or reawakens those abilities in people, whether they choose to use it professionally or not.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, our next question is from Lori. Hi, am I making the correct decision to move houses, or should I stay for 2 more years? Not sure I'm interpreting the signs correctly.
So it's interesting because it doesn't feel like there's a right or wrong. I think you're reading too much into this, right? We can, that's the way the guides are showing me. They're like, what do you want to do? This is not going to be that kind of decision that changes like your whole life or any outcome. This is really going to be, what would you like is the question here. So they're not showing me a right or wrong. It's really what feels right to you. And I love it when we get those kinds of answers from our guides where you're like, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change the course of your life. It's where do you feel happy, healthy, and at home. That's what they're asking you right now.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, Catherine asks, my question is about love. I'm 68 and I know it will happen. Do you feel my soulmate in my energy?
I do. They are showing me about 6 months out. So I would put that person about 6 months away, but close, getting close. And I love that. I love here. Let me just comment on that. The
Yeah.
way that she said it. I know my soulmates out there where, you know what I mean? The way that you're speaking like that brings up the law of attraction, the vibrational frequency, and that you're literally energetically pulling this person into your energy field and into meeting them sooner because you're saying, I know they're out there. They're on their way. And I love that. So great attitude and energy around that.
Thank you. Our next question is from Jess. Hi, Michelle. Can you please tell me what I need to focus on as far as life, purpose, and work? I am at a crossroads, but unsure about direction.
Okay. Life purpose is something everybody asks about. And that's a big one. And it's also simpler than we usually make it because we have multiple life purposes. Like for myself, I was meant to be a stay-at-home mom for a while, a wife. Now my purpose is to work as a medium and have adult children and all of that. So our purpose is constantly changing. But very often we want our purpose to be something huge. Like you're meant to cure cancer or do something like that. Really, part of our purpose is just learning to be here and live in the contrast of planet Earth. So to me, that's the challenge is learning to be where we are and enjoy it, because so often we're wanting to be in the future or in the past, and being in the present is actually where the magic and the power is. As far as job opportunities, because it was at the second half, like what job opportunities are coming up?
It didn't say anything about jobs, but it just said I'm at a crossroads, but unsure about direction, but nothing specifically about the job.
So I'm going to say job because that was the trail they were taking me down. I do think you'll be looking at shifting careers. So if you are working right now, it feels stable. I don't think you're going to lose your job. But what I feel for you is that come March or April, you're going to be ready to step into an adventure that connects with your heart and soul more. So I wouldn't be surprised if that pops up for you the first half of next year.
Thanks, Michelle. And we have time for one more question today. And I'm just going to remind everyone again, because we probably have some new people listening in, just to make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. So thank you all for showing up today in advance. But our last question is it's kind of interesting. It says, hello, Michelle. I had my sister who has passed away show up in a reading, standing behind me asking, I want back in. Can you pick up anything as to what she wanted?
Saying, please say that again.
Yeah. So
what did the sister say when she was standing behind?
She was standing behind asking, I want back in.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to tell you about this. Very often we have a lot of souls that are waiting to come to planet Earth, and they are literally waiting for their opportunity to come back in. And I know when we're here, we're saying like, how much longer? This feels like a prison sentence. It's very hard to be here. But Heavenly World knows that we gain so much and evolve so much by being here. So that energy to me, when I'm feeling that, is like, I want back in. We're going to do this again. We're going to reconnect. We're going to have a reincarnation. We're going to have this opportunity again. Because just because your relationship with your sister in a physical body has stopped now, the relationship has not stopped spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and it continues on forever. So that's kind of what I feel like. It's going to be like, hey, we're going to sign up and we're going to do this again.
So in a way, is it like the soul is ready to evolve again?
Yeah, it is about evolution of the souls. We have soul family groups also, not just like human family groups, but we have groups of souls that we like to evolve with because we've worked with them, we understand them, we have a maybe a little tighter knit with them, right? And what it feels like to me is that the sister is saying, we're going to do this again, and we're going to come back in. I don't think that her soul is coming in until it's your turn to come back in. So I don't feel her reincarnating anytime like soon. I just feel like she was saying to you, we're going to do this again.
Yeah, I found that to be such an interesting question because so often we talk about, our loved ones that have transitioned, how happy they are, how, they're doing so great and amazing. But then that kind of like that idea of, okay, when are like being ready to come back? Because we always talk about sometimes like it's so hard here on planet Earth, and to be able to be in that realm where it's peaceful and loving and kind. So I thought that was a really interesting question.
It is an interesting question. Usually souls like to stay in heavenly realm for about 200 years or so. And then at that point in time, they're kind of like, okay, let's see, what else? There's not a specific, my understanding from the guides, there's not a timeline. So it's not like you have to go back home to heaven for 200 years, nor are you ever forced to be here. So if you decide I am never going back, then okay, you really are never going to be forced to come back. But I promise you, after about 500 years, you're going to be like, is there something else to do around here?
Yeah, so interesting. Well, thank you for all your great questions today, and thank you for listening in.
Yeah, thank you all so much. I wish you a beautiful week ahead. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Have a great week.